Now they made this vehicle amphibious. This will be able to cross a river or a lake. It won't go out on the sea. You can imagine the first big wave over the top through those hatches, you'll sink like a stone, but you can go 3 or 4 miles across a nice inland waterway, and there's a little funny box on the front that just deploys forward, and that's to break the bow waves coming over the top of the vehicle. Like many armoured vehicles, you'll see those little glass periscopes around the vision cupola, the bit around the top. That's so the guys inside can see outside once they close the hatches, mainly under fire. Commanders and drivers will try and keep their heads out as long as possible as they go into action, because once you are buttoned up inside an armoured vehicle, the honest truth is you can see very little of the outside world. Nowadays they're even fitting video cameras around the outside to give the guys inside a bit more idea what's going on. So closed down, yes you're safe, but no you can't see what's going on. And for a vehicle that's out for reconnaissance, that's why that commander wants to
Have you eaten your
possible.
sandwiches first and stuff, yeah? Okay.
Now the link saw service, as I said, with the Canadian Forces. This was given to us by the Canadian military. Royal Netherlands Army also used it, slightly different variation. And just coincidentally, the next vehicle that's coming on, this was also given to us by the Canadian Defence Forces, the Canadian military. If you look closely, there's a little maple leaf on the rear door and on the turret, and that's the symbol of the Canadian Defence Forces. Now, I mentioned the fact that you can use a tracked vehicle that can get to places, different way of doing things. If you use wheels, they're cheaper on the whole, they last longer, of course governments, militaries like that. You can drive them up the motorway without worry that tracks might end up chewing up the ground too much. So wheels have advantages. And this is another one of those vehicles built in Canada. It was on the design that originated in Switzerland. So follow me here, there is a test at the end. Switzerland comes up with a MOWAC. It's a vehicle they call a Piranha. And it's a wheeled vehicle. You can buy it in 6 wheels or 8 wheel configuration, depending on what you want to do with it. And of course, different countries have different threats. Sometimes they want vehicles for internal security issues, you know, keep an eye on people. Sometimes they've got issues about who they're going to end up having to fight and what's the likely terrain they're going to fight on. So if you're Italy, you've got a long thin country, you're going to want to make sure that your mobile forces can get up and down that country if you've got a threat of invasion quickly. So Italy actually went for a lot of wheeled vehicles. Canada bought this vehicle, they sold it to the Americans once they made it.